Welcome back to StabtheDragon Productions, episode number 127. This is the Texas Rye Whiskey Tournament, bracket number 2, third match. We have tonight Devil's River Rye versus Oak&Eden Rye&Spire. Here's the contestants. Now just a quick review of the rule changes. Last time around in bracket 1, I was looking at these 16 whiskeys and I was looking for the pure rye flavor. I wanted that good, clean, fresh rye flavor. So the winner was Blackland 83 proof out of all 16 whiskeys. This time around, though, I am looking for the Texas funk. That smoky barrel char, the oakiness that happens to whiskey when it's aged in the extreme climate of Texas. You know, some Texas distilleries are climate controlled and others moderate that or eliminate that, and the climate is full on with these whiskeys. So, you know, we've had 2 months of straight 100-degree temperatures this summer. That does amazing things to whiskey. And love it or hate it, Texas whiskeys have the funk. Now, just the facts. Devil's River Rye comes to us at 90 proof in the 750 milliliter bottle. And on the bottle it says aged not less than 23 months. This bottle costs $25.99 at Total Wine, $27.88 at Specs, and Goody Goody has got it at $29.59. Oak&Eden is also 90 proof, coming to us from Bridgeport, Texas, about 30 miles away to my west, but bottled in Louisville, about 30 miles to my east. So I'm about halfway through, or halfway in between here. It's sourced from MGP. Oak&Eden does not have a distillery. They source all their whiskeys from a variety of distilleries, I've been told. And in my research, most of it's MGP. This is a 95.5 mash bill, which is kind of a standard MGP mash bill. It's aged for 2 years, I think. A couple places said 3, but I really think this is 2. So I've come across both. It is finished in bottle with this charred oak spire. You can see that in there. It's a spiral cut piece of wood, piece of oak that is charred. So, you know, that's a patented thing with Oak&Eden. They said, hey, we're going to, buy our whiskey that's a little bit young, but we're going to age it in the bottle. We're going to finish it in the bottle. So I think it works. It's a cool idea. But Oak&Eden can be had at Total Wine for $39.99. Goody Goody, $44.99, and Specs for $42.99. So these two contestants tonight both lost in the first round in bracket 1 earlier this year. Oak&Eden Rye&Spire lost to Lockwood, and the Devil's River lost to Herman Marshall. Now that doesn't mean these are bad whiskeys at all. Of the 16 ryes that I taste tested in that first bracket of the Rye Whiskey Tournament, all were good, right? It was a bit difficult at times to discern the winners, so sometimes if there's a tie, I have to go with price and availability as the tiebreaker. Now, Devil's River Rye comes from San Antonio, yet they get their water from the Devil's River that's about 150 miles to their west. The website and bottle claim that the whiskey starts with this limestone filtered water, but it is chill filtered. Nowhere does it say that it is distilled in Texas or San Antonio, however. It says produced and bottled by, which is usually code for we source this whiskey. But then what do they do with the Devil's River water? Do they cut it down to proof? I think so, because here's this interview from the San Antonio Express from July of this year, 2023. Mike Cameron, the co-owner of Devil's River Whiskey, is interviewed by Richard Webner, and he says, on the southern end of the river, we have an arrangement with a ranch owner. He's got 10,000 acres there, and on his ranch, he's got a spring. We harvest water out of his ranch and bring it up to San Antonio, where there's a percentage of water in each bottle from the actual Devil's River. Any whiskey distillery will tell you to make good whiskey requires good water. Limestone filter. It's rich in calcium and minerals. We use a tanker. We'll go to the ranch, load up the tanker, and bring the tanker into San Antonio. Now, the key phrase there is there's a percentage of water in each bottle. I don't have the mash bill for this either. It is 90 proof and aged for not less than 23 months. But I think it's sourced. For certain, they could use a bit more transparency on the bottle and website. I don't know if it's sourced from in Texas or outside of Texas. It does not have the Texas funk, so who knows. The Oak&Eden Rye&Spire could also use a little bit more transparency. Their website used to say that they sourced their whiskey from MGP, but I couldn't find that the other day when I was looking. And the bottle doesn't say where it was distilled either. It says bottled in Louisville. That's all it says. The whiskey is 2 years old, as best as my research can tell. And I did get a mash bill of 95.5 for this. And you've got a charred oak spire. And again, that charred oak spire, I think, does a magnificent job here. I think that's a genius idea. And again, if the tie here for the taste goes on, then the winner is who's got the best price and availability. So let's look at the appearance of these two whiskeys. On my left, your right, is the Devil's River. That's in glass number 1. It's got a 1 on the bottom. And then I've got Oak&Eden here on my right, your left. Notice there's a huge difference in appearance. The Oak&Eden has got a dark, rich color there. That's amazing. I mean, that looks like a Texas whiskey for sure. Got hints of red going on there. The golden amber of the Devil's River, it's a nice color, but boy, they don't match up. One's clearly the winner here, and that's Oak&Eden. As far as the bottles go, I'm a fan of whiskey bottles. I think that the aesthetics of the bottles is part of the story. And here, very different bottles. You've got the flask of Devil's River. You got this big, bold bottle of Oak&Eden. Oak&Eden is got embossing, and part of the label is embossed on there too. And Devil's River's got a cool picture of a river going through some rapids there. So, I like the flask style. Flask style bottles are easy to handle, that's for sure. So I don't know. I'd give a tie on bottle. But now let's go to the nosing. Devil's River. I get a very light rye flavor. Actually, maybe a little bit of corn. A little bit sweet. That's definitely a pleasant nose going on there, for sure. Oak&Eden. Here, a little bit more bold of a nose, but I'm getting kind of that eraser, strong eraser scent going on here. Sometimes get that with ryes. So, I might give the advantage to Devil's River for the nose. That's a little bit more inviting. Now, I've got a weak nose. My nose can barely smell whiskeys. Usually with ryes, I can smell a little bit, scotches a little bit. So I'm going to give advantage to Devil's River with the nose. Now for the taste. Devil's River got some sweetness going on there. The rye spice is turned down. It's there, but it's not bold. It's actually very pleasant. I mean, it's got a medium mouthfeel. little bit of a fade on the finish, but it's a pleasant finish. I mean, there's nothing offensive about that. That's actually a very easy sipper. Yeah, I mean, you could, that's pretty smooth. I could see sipping that all evening. And for somebody, if you don't like rye, if or maybe you're just a bit skittish, the rye flavor on here is turned down a little bit. The sweetness is up a little bit, maybe a little bit of corn, but really that's quite the pleasant rye without being overpowering. All right, well, I forgot my Topo Chico, so I can't really cleanse my palate, but let's move on to the Oak&Eden. And I would say Oak&Eden was my favored to win tonight, but we'll see. I think we've got a richer mouthfeel, bolder flavors. The rye flavor's there, but I'm thinking the eraser note is coming through loud and clear. This is very similar to Bullet Rye. You've got that strong, some people may say it's eucalyptus, but I call it eraser. Strong eraser note. Now it's got a stronger finish. It's a bolder whiskey. Better mouthfeel. But that eraser note is clearly there. I gotta say, the eraser thing with rye whiskeys, that's not my favorite. I'm a rye guy. I mean, I really like a lot of ryes. When I get one that's got that eraser note, that puts a kind of a halt on it for me. And so I don't remember that being the case with this Oak&Eden before. Particularly when I opened the bottle, but that bottle's been open for about 3 years. So I really liked it when I first opened it. But now I'm getting this eraser note. And see, this is part of the problem, is that the Devil's River is a new whiskey to me. And so you can see the difference in the bottles. I mean, almost full to halfway gone. And whiskeys can change as you go down the bottle. Sometimes it's a change for the good. In this case, it may be a change for the not so good. Well, I have to choose which one of these would I drink 3 out of 5 times. I'm going to go with Devil's River for the win. A little bit close, but Devil's River is also, and if you remember back to what I said about the prices, Devil's River is like $13 cheaper, right? Total Wine, $25.99 versus Oak&Eden, $39.99. So essentially $26 versus $40. That's $14 difference. If you look at the goody price, essentially $30 a goody versus $45. So that's $15 difference. Yeah, so definitely Devil's River wins this bout. I think the eraser flavor on the Oak&Eden, a little bit of a turnoff. I mean, it's still a good whiskey. If I was offered Oak&Eden, I would never turn it down. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm really, looking for differentiation here and saying which one do I like the most. So I'm not saying I don't like Oak&Eden, although I got to say that eraser flavor is a little bit of a turnoff for me when it comes to rye. But we have a winner, Devil's River. In conclusion, next time, whenever that will be, maybe next week, maybe not, It'll be the other Oak&Eden Rye and Rar. That's a spiral cut spire that has been aged in Rar whiskey, right? Rar whiskey is local here in Fort Worth. One of my favorite beers for sure. That one versus Yellow Rose Rye. And Yellow Rose is also new to me. So, which of those two are we going to look at as the winner? Okay, so that's next time. For now, this is Stab the Dragon out here.